A lotus is a flower rooted in the mud that rises through and above to become a beautiful bloom. This is a podcast sharing mine and other stories of how we've done the same, choosing to rise above our circumstances to bloom. I'm your host, Amber. Let's get started. All right, so I'm here with my friend Janica. We have known each other. We've known of each other for a couple years now. Well, maybe almost 3 years, actually.
I don't know how long it's been.
Time isn't real. Anyway, I don't believe it's real anyways.
Yeah.
But we finally got to have like real interactions about a year ago, actually. I think it was at, my voice. It was at one of the Gentle Warrior retreats. Mm-hmm. And you did tell me what they're called. All I remember is Confidently Bear. Yeah. Photo shoot, which was really uncomfortable for me and exactly what it should have been. It was really, really cool. I just remember, so usually for the retreats, Taryn would always give us like a heads up of like kind of a heads up. She'd be like, bring something in this category, but wouldn't tell us why.
Yeah.
Which was great because it helped us like push our comfort zone and kind of just be in the moment with whatever we were doing.
Yeah.
And so she was like, nope, you don't need to worry about bringing anything. Like, we're going to do some fun stuff, but you don't need to bring anything for it. And then she tells us what we're doing and we're like, that's why you said not to bring anything. Like, I just brought pajamas. So like, even if I wanted to think of an outfit, I had none. Mm-hmm, but it was so perfect. And you did this really cool reading beforehand for all of us, which I've rewatched mine so many times. And then we did the photo shoot, and we'll talk more about it, but it was just something that allowed me to see myself in a light that I hadn't before. And it was almost like, who am I without all these filters?
Yeah. And
not just like physical filters, but emotional filters, personality filters. And at first when I looked at the pictures, I was like, I hate them. I don't like it at all. But then it kind of reminded me of, did you ever get into the Snapchat phase?
Not really.
I did for a while, and they always had all these funny filters. And it got to the point where like there was this one filter where it just softens your face enough. I got so used to using that filter that I almost had like this body dysmorphia of when I actually saw myself. Yeah. And it bothered me so much that I was determined to stop using it. And it was that same, like it felt exactly the same energetically of like, oh, I have to actually look at who I really am.
Yeah.
And the more I looked at it, the more I was like, no, actually I do like this about myself. And I like that about myself. And learning how to love your true self.
Yeah.
It was a really cool experience, but
they're my favorite.
I know I can understand why. I can only imagine like being behind the camera of getting to witness somebody, because it's awkward at first. You're like, what am I doing? What do I do with my hands? But to like witness somebody break through and break down those barriers within themselves and outwardly. So I guess we can start with that of like, how did you get into, what's your journey been to get into that? Because it's I feel like boudoir photo shoots are getting fairly popular right now as far as like empowerment and being comfortable in your skin. But this is like another level. It's just so beautiful. I love it so much. I could talk about it all day.
I know.
But how did what led into getting into that? Yeah.
Well, okay. So I've done like the energy work and photography for time. Like around 2010 is when I started into photography, but I was doing families, weddings, all that kind of stuff. But like right off the bat, I was like, I love this, but specifically in Utah, I've never been a photographer outside of Utah, but it was very much so everybody wanted the perfect pose, perfect smile. And there was something always in me that I was like, oh, but this isn't real. Like it's real, but it's not real.
Yeah.
And so did that for a minute and I was like, this is just not it. So then I started doing just confidence photo shoots where it was just with women, and I would start with no makeup, and then halfway through they would put on makeup, just because of my own journey of going through hating what I looked like and having that be like a point of maybe trauma for me, honestly, of just, lots of things said about how I looked, and a lot of assumptions made because of how I looked. And so for me, I'm like, okay, I want to take photography and help women really love who they are with nothing. So I did start with just bare face, but they could wear whatever they wanted, right? And then I had a mentor at one point. She was like, why don't you like merge your intuitive energy healing with your photos? And I was like, what? So that is when that first came together. And so with the bare face photo shoots, and then into the makeup part, I would lead them on like an energy healing journey. And so I love to just dive into things when I know there's something there, like, let's dive into it. Let's get into it. And so that's why I would do the no makeup first. And then that's where, like, during the photo shoot, kind of like what we did there.
Yeah.
Is I could see the pieces and the parts energetically where you were either uncomfortable or hiding. And then intuitively, I'd just be like, okay, she needs this. She needs this. So let's do some movement, or here's a song.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so it's like being the one behind it and watching it is like, it's the coolest experience. I'm going to cry. It's seriously the coolest experience. And I love doing it so much. But yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And then, I'm trying to remember when actually 2 years ago, I think exactly 2 years ago, in September, I just had this idea one Sunday. I was like, you know what? I want to photograph women bare because that's like everything gone. Right. And so, but then I was like, okay, I know bodies and women is more of a, like, something that you can work up to. And so I just put out something on a Sunday and I was like, hey, who's available? This is my idea. This is my concept. Does somebody want to come play and just try this out, kind of thing?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I had 2 women that responded to it, and we went out, and it was kind of, so I've always had like the same flow of my photo shoots. Like I always have intuitive music, beforehand, where it's like, I call it pinging, where I ping my energy into like the experience and just the energy of the woman. And I literally am just guided to random music. Like it's no specific,
like so perfect.
Yeah,
though.
it is. It always turns out so perfectly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, guide me, choose a song list. And then of course, guide them through, just releasing doubts and fears, and, then just letting them flow with the music and dance to the music. And so that's kind of just like my natural flow of photo shoots.
Yeah.
So with these bare ones though, I told them, I was like, bring either just a sheet or like a kimono, like type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just mainly going to be bare. Like if you want to be completely bare, that's up to your comfort level. But like we're talking just thong and some kind of shawl or whatever. So yeah, that was the first one. And I was like, I need to do more of these.
This is feeding my soul.
Yeah. So that's kind of where that whole concept of confidently bare, because I've always kind of gone with the word confident. I just broke again.
Oh no.
We're flowing with it. But yeah, so the first photo shoots were confident, and then these are confidently bare. And then I have confidently expressed, which is more for branding and whatnot. But yeah. So that was like the whole start of it. And just, again, getting women down to who they are to the core rather than having all the filters of any kind. And even without, like, I love to do the confidently bare ones with no makeup as well. But I understand that being bare is like a huge thing. So I'm like, if you want to have makeup on, that's totally fine. But I do love, like, oh my gosh, the ones where it's like no makeup, everything just down to seeing you as, because to me, I see women as energy. And to me, that's like the core of who we all are. And so being able to feel yourself and let go of all the like, oh, my belly's too big, or my arms are too whatever, or my eye is too squinty, or like I have too many wrinkles on my forehead.
Yeah.
Those are so human, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think too, that's the part where it's like, I love capturing the emotion, and because you can see the difference in photos. And that's the other thing I love about photography, is it's literally an affirmation kind of thing. That's not the word that I love to use, but it's the one that makes most sense right now.
Yeah.
Because you know, when you look at a photo from like 10 years ago, you're like, that doesn't even look like me, or that doesn't feel like me.
Yeah.
And so for these, it's like my whole goal is to capture like your energy and the frequency. And that's why I love doing like the music, because it brings out different parts of you.
Yeah.
And even just, I'm trying to think of an example, but like,
Well, like for mine, I remember I was telling somebody about this the other day. I was going to get my nails done and she's like, so any new cool episodes coming up? And I was like, I'm actually interviewing this one woman. She did a photo shoot for me. And I was telling her like the music that you picked was so perfect for like pulling me out of my shell. And I remember you were like, you made some comment about, remember going out with the girls, like just dancing with the girls or something like that. Like that's what you're doing. And that's what I used to do all the time is my girlfriends and I would just go dancing all the time. And so I was like, okay. And what was cool about it is that it was almost like this remembering of a version of me that I had just kind of forgotten about and kind of put on a back burner, put on a back shelf. And it was like this freer version of me that needed to be released. Yeah. And you were making these comments. Well, and what was great about it too is that honestly having my girlfriends there to like cheer me on as backup too. But the comments you were making were just so spot on with like what I needed to hear to let go. It was so, I don't know. It was so cool. So anybody who wants to do it, I think you really should. It was really, really cool. But it was a huge lesson for me of like, okay, a remembering of a version of myself and how can I, like, who am I without all these filters that I've placed on myself, society has put on me? And how can I get back to that and bring it into the version of me that is now? Because like you said, looking back at pictures where you're like, that's not me anymore. You couldn't pay me to go back to the version that used to go clubbing all the time. Like don't want to be that version. But there was a part of me that was freer then that like, can I bring that into who I am now with all of the lessons that I've had now? And like loving and merging all these versions of myself. Yeah. It was, and so like every time I look back at those pictures, I'm like, okay, it's like a reminder too. Oh, hey, remember what we're doing? Remember this essence is what we want. Yes. Oh, yes. So cool. Well, not even like, to me, how I view life in general is like we have gone away from free expression, right? In all ways. And so, pieces of this photo shoot is I want women to, bring like, there have been different versions of you, right? But there's a common energy, a common frequency to how you express that. And so it's like, for me, I'm like, I want to bring these photo shoots so women can kind of like find that common feeling within themselves and see it through the photos. So, Well, and I think too, for me anyways, and I found this in conversation with a lot of other women, is like, once you become a mom, there's like this huge shift. And I feel like it's almost like an identity crisis of like who I need to be now and this mourning of who I was before and trying to find this, like I found myself sometimes almost romanticizing past versions of myself because I miss her. I'm like, oh, the freeness of her. And she got to do all these things. And it's hard saying goodbye to any type of friend, but it's really hard saying goodbye to a version of yourself where you're like, you feel like you're losing yourself. And I was talking to somebody once about how I've been working really hard over the past 3 years. Like it's just been a common thing that comes up of loving all versions of myself. And I was like, oh yeah, and that version of me and that version of me and who I am now. And he said, how did he say it? It was so perfect. He was like, there aren't different versions of yourself, like these little pegs that you put in do you remember those bright light things? Like it's not like, oh, here's the orange peg and this is when I was 19 and here's this purple peg and this is when I was 27 and here's this green peg and this is when I was 5, you know? They're all building on each other. And so it's not figuring out how to bridge all these versions of yourself or forgetting or remembering. It's you always have those versions of yourself. It's just builds on each other. It makes me think of like, have you seen those candle making things where they dip it in the wax? Oh yeah. And they do all the different layers. And so like it's just a rainbow. So it's all those versions of you are still there and a part of you. You just get to build on them. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's a lot less sad than forgetting this version of myself or thinking that I just have to move on. Like, how can I bring this version of myself into who I am now and just constantly
Yes. I've been
remember
going through
her.
the same thing.
Yes.
Like the last 4 years. Cause yeah, parts of me before I had my last baby, I'm like, where'd she go? It's still there. It's still there.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, it's just allowing yourself to bring it out maybe in the like mom mode type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But like the playful dancer can still be there, but maybe in the kitchen making breakfast.
Exactly. Right? You don't need to be in the club with 6-inch heels.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
By yourself.
You could also do that.
Yeah.
But and I do want to touch on too something that we talked about this before, but like something I've been focusing on for the last few weeks is spirit and getting in touch with intuition. And I mean, I think I've been focusing on intuition for a really long time, but I do feel like there's a difference between intuition of trusting what's right for me and what's right for my kids and what's right for, I don't know, what lane I need to be in traffic or something like that, you know, or calling a friend. But then I also think there's another level of intuition where you're tapping into energy. And I think that the trusting your intuition on those other things are the like groundwork for trusting your intuition when it comes to gifts. Yeah. And so that's the part that I've been leaning into more, and it's so weird. But also it's like, this makes sense. Yeah. I was talking to somebody recently and she said, everybody has, and I've heard this from different people of like, everybody has spiritual gifts. It's just a matter of whether you're giving them the space that they need and fine tuning them, which I think is so cool because I think like, you always think, oh, they have a spiritual gift, they're special.
Yeah.
And I think we all want to be special in some way, but to know that this is something that everybody has and everybody has access to is really cool.
Yeah.
And you've been talking about like honing in on those. So first, like, let's rewind a little bit.
Okay.
With tapping into energy and the gifts that you have fine-tuned, how did that start out for you?
Yeah. So I've always, so growing up, I've always been super sensitive. And obviously back then I wasn't aware of what that really meant, but I did see beings all the time. But again, at the time it was like, that's evil, that's scary. Yeah. And I didn't have anybody to like nurture that or help me recognize what was happening. And the fact that I'm like, I'm not any special person. I'm not a leader of an organization or a church or whatever. So what's actually happening? This might,
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, my whole life I would wake up screaming because I would see things and it's like, So to me, it was, I don't want this. Like whatever this is, take it away because it's scary. And so it wasn't until I was married, had my first baby, and I got into foot zone therapy. Mainly on the side. Well, okay, rewinding too. I grew up super westernized. So anything energy, like spirit in the way other than religion was like taboo, no,
so did I.
Weird, wrong kind of thing, right? And so who I had married at the time, he grew up into essential oils and energy and all that. And I remember the first time like he would talk about it, I'm like, you are so weird. Like this doesn't make sense. You're really going to do that. That's going to help. Okay, no thanks. So my first son, he was super colicky when he was born. And so a gal in my church ward at the time, she was like, here, bring him over for a foot zone. I was like, what even is that? So took him, it helped. And I was like, hey, hold on. If this is something that I can learn to do to help my family, because by that time, I was more into the like understanding the holistic and like, hey, if I can help myself rather than take my kids to the doctor all the time, sign me up.
Yeah.
So I went through foot zone therapy training. And while I was learning, I could not, for the life of me, pick up on the physical things that you're supposed to learn foot zone therapy for, right?
Yeah.
Like the physical sensations in a foot.
Yeah.
What I was picking up on was emotions, ancestors, like the spirit realm.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like I came here to learn the physical. What is happening?
Yeah.
And so thankfully my teacher trainer, I can't remember what we called them, but anyways, she was very much into like the spiritual gifts realm. And she helped me realize, hey, guess what? These are actually cool gifts.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, hold on. So you're telling me everything that scared the crap out of me growing up is actually a gift. And I'm like seeing dead people, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it went into that. And the first little while, again, I was terrified out of my mind because I was seeing things, hearing things, but it didn't make sense and it felt kind of scary. And I grew up being terrified of the dark.
Yeah.
So I like tried to shut it off. I was like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Don't want this. And I like tried to pray it away, but she's like, no, embrace it. This is actually a really cool thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if I have to. So then I just kept on doing, foot zones for people and they would just get stronger. Like I was even zoning my dad and like his dad popped up and I was like, oh, hi. But I'm like, should I say something? So at first I didn't really say anything to who I was zoning because I'm like, I don't know how weird this is to other people.
Yeah.
But then it got to a point, and this is kind of how it's always happened for me and actually helped me learn how to trust my gifts and what I was receiving. It got to a point when I was zoning somebody or working on somebody that if I did not tell them what came up, I wouldn't receive anything else. Oh. So it was like, you say it or you're getting nothing else.
Yeah.
So that really did teach me, like, even though I'm either receiving something that may be way like crazy for them to hear.
Yeah.
Unless I said it, I wouldn't receive anything else. Wow. And so for me, that was like, that did train me to trust, speak it, receive more.
Well, and I feel like that, tell me if I'm wrong, but for me, that would almost be this cyclical thing of like, while I'm trusting this thing that's coming in, I'm also trusting that to be my true self in front of other people, whether they think it's weird or not.
Yes. Yeah. And that was a huge like healing piece for me too, because massive people pleaser and like always terrified what people were thinking of me and all of that. So it was like, so within that piece though too, with building that gift is I did have mentors and I was doing my own work at the same time. So it was like, I was working on people and getting help behind the scenes, so to speak, of like, okay, let's work through your fear of being seen and being heard. And so
to break down all those barriers.
And it's like, you have to, when you're going into that realm, because it's, I mean, not all of it is unseen.
Yeah.
But still, it's like not something that you can prove, and it's not like hard, solid evidence.
Right.
Some of the
it's
gifts,
not like I can hand something to you and say, look, this is the work that I've done. Yeah.
So it is a huge, if you do struggle with fear of what other people think about you or say about you. So that was a huge thing for me of like, oh, I'm talking to your angels right now. Especially with some of the people like that I grew up with. It was that whole, like you were saying at the beginning, where it's like, oh, I'm not somebody special.
Yeah.
Right. So I can't have that gift because I'm not, who am I to have that gift?
Well, I think also, and I didn't grow up Mormon. I grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
Which is very similar, but slightly different.
Yeah.
But where we live in such a concentrated state of Mormonism, I would feel like in that aspect of like, oh, I'm not special. Like, oh, I'm not one of the, I don't remember what they're called, of the like bigwigs in the church who were supposed to be getting these gifts and like have this intuition. I don't know. Like
the apostles.
Apostles. Okay. Yeah. Of feeling like I'm special.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I'd be like, okay, why am I getting this?
Yes. Yeah. So going to your point too of literally everybody, and it is those levels, how I've learned it anyways, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, because taking away the piece of like, oh, you want to be somebody special because it makes you feel good. Everybody can tap into, to me, anybody can tap into any gift that they really want to. But I look at it as a piece of like, we're all a part of this thing that's going on, right? Like whatever your belief is, whatever, we're all a piece of it. We're all a part of it.
Yeah.
And I believe that we have a specific part to play as one. So, and this is why I love like human design and astrology and all of that kind of stuff.
My husband and I have just been getting into human design. It was so funny because we go out to Wisconsin every summer. And right before, we had a friend who brought it up and we were all looking up like what he was and what I was. And we've looked it up in the past, but kind of forgot.
Yeah.
But now we're like actually paying attention to it. So we both look up what we are. We're both manifesting generators.
Okay.
And then we have one kid who's a projector and one kid who's a generator. And so literally the whole drive out to Wisconsin, we're listening to any podcast or little blip that we can about ourselves and our kids and how to communicate. It is so interesting and so, like, they were describing the projector, which is what our daughter is. And we looked at each other and I was like, that's her.
That's her. I know. It's so helpful. And that's, again, anything in that realm, like helping you understand yourself, but also it brings it home that we are unique and we're doing this together.
Yes.
Like you have your part, I have my part, like with human design. I love how, I don't remember who it was, but how she explains it. It's like a house. Like each person has a specific part in building the house.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the same way with spiritual gifts and the way that you use them. You can choose to use them honestly, however you want. Because again, for me, like breaking it down to the most simple way of tapping into your gifts, understanding your gifts, being able to live your gifts is energy. Like learn energy at the core.
Yeah.
Because literally tapping into guides, you're reading their energy. Ooh. Tapping into gifts, you're reading the energy. It's how you receive it and how you interpret it.
Okay.
And then how you want to use it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like the most simple thing ever.
Yeah.
Just focus on like literally that's all it is.
Yeah.
Because I know, and whoever may not agree with me, but again, for me, this is the most simple way that I have come to understand is energy and frequency. It's a language. Learn it. Your specific dialect or whatever.
Yeah.
And then choose how you want to speak it.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I never thought of it that way, but that does make so much sense.
Yeah. Well, and how you were saying too with like the levels. Because here's the thing too. I know that some people get wrapped up in like, oh, well, I am meant to do something. And if I don't do it, then I'm going to fail type of thing.
Yeah.
I do feel like certain people do have this like deeper calling. But we can kind of get wrapped up in like what our purpose is way too much, where it just makes you feel like you're never enough or never achieving something.
Yeah.
So again, it's receiving the energy. How do you want to express it? And there's that expression again. It's like, how do you want to choose to express your gifts?
Yes.
And so how I see, like when I'm tapping into somebody, how I see everything is like I get all the information and then I'm able to organize it into how it wants to like flow through you and out.
Okay.
So again, it's just energy moving through you. Do you want to paint with it? Do you want to photograph with it? Do you want to not do anything with it at all?
Yeah.
Like seriously, it's a choice. But I know there are some people that just have that, like, I know I'm supposed to do something with it. Like your gift, podcast, using your voice. Like if somebody has a gift of like their voice being super strong, the fact that you're doing a podcast, that's using your gift.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't have to make it so, I don't know what the word is, but like this grandiose thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it can, and if you want it to be, but yeah.
It makes me think of, I think that some people, have you heard of that? Wow. Let me start 7 sentences.
Do that too.
Just pick one. But have you ever heard of that saying of, some people forget that like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
And I think that some people lose sight of maybe using your gift is also about the buildup. Like that's your purpose. This is also part of your purpose is the buildup of getting there. It's not just the getting there that's your purpose. So like remembering that every single step that you're going along the way is just as useful and important as getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's like, so for me and my journey with like wanting to use my gifts, I go through phases where I'm like, I just want to hide in a cave and I don't want to do anything ever again. Like I just want to go off and homestead and do my own thing. Right. But it is that just like pull within me that it's like, you're meant to do this or do that or whatever. Right. And even still then, cause a lot of times I'm like, I'm done with social media. I'll take a month off, but then it's like, get back on there and speak. But then I'm like, hold on, does this mean actually social media, or am I meant to start a podcast, or am I meant to, voice it some other way? So again, it's not necessarily the way that you're receiving it. It's how do you want to interpret what the gift is.
Yeah.
And so for me, I know it is like helping pull out the gifts of others and guide them. So it's like, how do I want to do that?
Yeah.
Do I want to do it through sessions? Do I want to do it through just talking about gifts? Do I want to do it through photography?
Yeah.
Right. I forgot what I was going to say.
No, I think that's super beautiful because I think there can be a lot of pressure on I think there's enough pressure in life of how we're supposed to do things or what things are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
I hate that word. Like it's the same as should. I hate the word should, but we should be doing. And I think we put a lot of pressure on, well, if this is what I want to do, what's going to be the most successful? What's going to get the most likes and views and that kind of a thing. And it's like, okay, but if you don't enjoy it, then you're not using it the way that you should.
Yeah.
The way that you should is a way that you enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the thing too, that's really cool how I see gifts within people is once you really like connect and align with it, it's usually something that you naturally know how to do.
Yeah.
But you may not be aware that you do it. For instance, and this is, okay, so again, with like the different layers of using your gifts, because like, let's say somebody has a big, beautiful open heart. They could just choose to use their gift in a way of like, I'm going to spread love everywhere I go, right? Or again, if they feel called to start a podcast and just share love or like write a book all about, just different levels. But then if you want to get into like more of the frequency and energetic soul type of part of it too, there's that layer where you can look at how you help, like rearrange energy within somebody with their heart.
Yeah.
So there is just different levels of how you want to use it, how you want to tap in. But like how I see everybody is we are frequency, energy, and souls in these human bodies. And for like the world to expand how it wants to and shift how it wants to and how the earth wants to be healed, the frequency and like the keys that we hold to help unlock other people.
Yeah.
I get so excited. But like that's another level. And that's how I see people is like, okay, I'm trying to think of how to explain this. So the movie Limitless, where there's like a bunch of numbers that he sees above people's heads.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody has a specific way of helping people's codes or numbers. Like to me, it's some people's are missing. And so like your specific gift can help me fill in the parts that I'm missing, so to speak, to become whole.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it as like you have your specific key, I have my specific key, and together we unlock different parts of somebody in the ways that they need it.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me too, like tapping into your spiritual gifts, tapping into energy, it cuts out like competition because it's like you do a specific thing. I do a specific thing, but we don't do the same thing. And even if we do the same thing, like if you help people with gifts and I help people with gifts,
it's still different.
It's still different.
Yeah.
Because of how you feel and how I feel.
Of our own energetic frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And also I love the idea that you brought in of like it takes away the competition. That's one thing that I've noticed in this, what do I call it?
Spiritual community.
Yeah, community. Yeah. Is that the people who are like super stoked and super amped and super into it, there's no competition. They're just like, oh, you talked to so-and-so. Ooh, they're just as excited about it too. What did they say? And they figure out ways to work together, which I think is so healthy. And we need more of that vibe.
Yes.
I remember when I was like 14 and my grandma so my grandma raised me. Oh. And so I talk about her a lot.
Yeah.
But we were in the mall one time and these girls, my same age or around my same age walked past. And my grandma, she and I are a lot alike in how we observe people and just kind of take it in. So we were walking around the mall for a while, shopping, blah, 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 and we get ready to go. And she's like, do you know what I thought was really interesting? Is that anytime a teenage girl would start to walk towards us, they would stare at you and give you this glare. And you would just smile at them. And it like diffused them. They didn't know what to do with it. And she was like, you were just in your own little bubble. And I was like, I didn't notice anybody glaring.
Yeah.
And she's like, you were just in your own little bubble. And she's like, that's the way to be. Girls can be so competitive, and especially in their teenage years, and they don't know what they're competing about. She's like, girls are so competitive, and I want you to always keep that. Like, just smile at everybody. Like, just be in your own little bubble and happy to be. And she said it a little bit differently, but that's basically what it was, is like, take away the competition by not participating in it.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like you were saying, because of how society in general and like how depending on what you believe, how things are geared towards a specific way. Like, I have a lot to say about that. But it's, like we were taught and raised a specific way because certain things and people and things want us to forget our gifts and how powerful we are in that way, especially women.
Yep.
And so, of course, they're going to create the competition. So again, that's for me where it's like, yes, there's still going to be that. But if you're open enough to understand that literally, and to me, again, it's all about feeling the energy. Like if you just feel the energy of what's going on, it will tell you the truth. And something that I've been really understanding lately too, I go on a lot of walks and like talk to myself, but I'm like talking to energy to like understand it at a deeper level, just because of my own experiences. And so energy, there's like the divinity and then the man-made. So like nature, divine. Everything else, man-made.
Yeah.
Man puts its intention into certain things, and that's why certain things feel a certain way.
Okay.
Nature, it just is.
Right.
And it has no intention put on it because it just is. It's like a filter of energy, right? Yeah. And so the same thing with like learning energy and learning gifts, especially in the spiritual realm, is feeling into the divinity of the feeling of things versus the man-made. And I think that takes away a lot of the competition of like women tapping into, oh, well, she does this like I do, or et cetera, whatever. It's like, no, tap into the divinity of what you're doing and seeing how things fit together, because they really do.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like, I have a piece, but I can't hold all of it. I don't want to hold all of it. I've tried to hold all of it, but I don't want to hold all of it. So it's like, I'll focus on my piece that I'm really good at. And then after you have gotten what you need from me, I'm going to hand you over to Amber and she's going to take care of you. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's why I love playing in the realm of like energy, frequency, gifts, because for me, I want women so deeply to know how beautiful they are in their way.
Yes.
As a whole, we're beautiful. But if like, and not saying if you don't, but like, what's another example? I don't know. Looking at this light thing, all of it together, every single light bulb is just as bright as the other light bulb, right?
Right.
And as a whole, it's lighting up everything.
Yeah.
So like if we can each just individually light, it's going to light everything. And that's what we all want to do, right?
Yes.
Is just help and heal and change how things are.
Yeah. So on that topic, I had a friend post to Instagram the other day, and she was just basically saying like, she's trying not to watch the news, and without getting like super political. Yeah. But, 'cause then it just is upsetting. But she's watching the news, and there are a lot of things going on in the world, and basically like how it's just getting to her too much, and like how can she hold on to hope? And I messaged her back and I was like, stop watching the news.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember like when COVID hit, I was reading every article, I was watching everything, I was the angriest I've ever been.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, oh, ignore what's going on in the world. But it's kind of like, I don't remember who it was, but I saw this thing where it was like, if I tell you to look at everything that's green in this room and then to ask you how many red things are there, all you're going to remember is the green.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it has to be this balance of like, don't forget about the world, but also like zero in on what's beautiful around you. And that's what I messaged her. I was like, you have so much beauty and beautiful people. And I think like you were saying, like, that's how we're going to make the world a better place, is in the least ignorant way, but like focusing on the beautiful things and amplifying those. Yeah. And amplifying each other in that beauty.
Yeah. Yes. It was a couple days ago, I had the same conversation because I was going down a hole of like just being overwhelmed with how frustrating certain things can be, like, and just wanting to change. And then when you look at everything from a broader perspective, it does feel overwhelming. And so, yes, when you zero in on yourself, first and foremost, the beautiful things about yourself, because then you can amplify it, right? So get a little selfish. For reals, get a little selfish about learning to love who you are and all the beautiful things about you. And that's why I love doing what I'm doing what I do, because it is all centered around who you are, the beautiful things about you, the gifts that you carry, your physical beauty, and like living from that space. Because when you live from that space, you give other people's permission. Yeah, you may stoke their fire a little bit or like, trigger them or whatever.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you're always helping them in some way because you're bringing awareness. Like if you are being fully who you are, something's going to happen to the people around you. They
Yep.
can choose to open up or they can choose to contract, right? But you're still doing quote unquote, I don't want to say your job, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
And that consistency.
yeah.
That we all have our moments where we're like, oh, wait a minute, I don't like this about myself. But just like the consistency of being who you are and letting that light shine.
Yeah.
I think that when people witness that, it gives, like you said, I love the idea of like, it gives them permission of like, to focus on that of like, ooh, I like that about that person, or, ooh, that makes me focus on something that I don't like about myself.
Yeah.
And the importance of that is like, okay, well, what can I do about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even like inserting that piece into the broader, like looking at the news and everything that is going on in the world.
Yeah.
If you focus on, like, if you really want to change something, change yourself first, right?
Be the change.
Yeah. So doing that, I'm very visual. So I saw this whole thing of like, okay, this is what's going on in the world. This is what's going on in the US, blah, blah, blah. It gets overwhelming, gets frustrating. It just like, you just want to throw things, right?
Yeah.
And so you being you and shining your light infiltrates from the inside. Everything they focus on is very external, right? So going into what we can do, what we can tap into, our energy, our frequency, that's breaking the foundation of what they think they have, going internal versus external, because everything does come from internal, right? So if you can focus on the internal of you, everybody focusing on the internal of them, they will choose them first, which equals the whole, and then it blows everything up. That's how I see it. So it is the conversation I was having a couple days ago. She's like, Janica, quit focusing on all the things that you can't change right now. Like
it's overwhelming.
Yeah. Like I am somebody that holds integrity as one of my main values. And so when I see like, and I'm a huge observer of things, like not through the news, but just like watching how things move.
Yeah.
And when I see things of like injustice or people that are like just being so mean, I just want to like, I told another friend, I was like, can it just be like the olden days where we send a pigeon to them and we like, meet me here, we're going to go to battle. We're going to physically battle this out.
Right. Meet me by the tree.
Yeah. So, but it's not that way. And so I'm like, okay. She's like, what can you do? Focus on you, focus on your gifts, focus on the love you want to share and the light you want to share. And then that will just like, and it will fix itself.
I love that. I think that focus on what you can do. No, I think that's so beautiful because like, what else can you do? Like, why take all that other stuff on if you can't do anything about it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of when my husband and I first started dating, I was having a really rough day and just like a bunch of stuff going on. And I used to write these quotes on my mirror. I kept like a dry erase marker in my bathroom. And I don't know when he wrote it. I don't know if he wrote it like while I was in the shower or if he wrote it before he left or something. But I got out of the shower. It was one of those days where like I had a rough day, came home and I just needed to like wash the energy off of me before I really knew what wash the energy off of me meant. And I look in the mirror and he wrote, you can't control the waves, but you can learn how to surf. And I think about that all the time of like, okay, what do I have control? What role do I play in this? Because if it's so-and-so over there and I'm upset with how they're treating this person, like the most I can do is be friends to the person who needs my love and be my consistent self, but I'm not going to tell somebody how to do something or sway something some way. I'm not going to tell people how to believe. I'm not going to tell people how to vote because of how I feel. The most that I can do is like be myself and like you've been saying of like spreading that light. And that's what I can handle. And I think that's been like a huge lesson throughout this whole growth journey over the past few years is like, okay, remember like what can I handle? What can I handle? I'm not going to take on all this other stuff because I can't do that. That's too much. It stresses me out.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. And then it affects your own quality of life. And like, okay, so now the world is miserable and I'm miserable now.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. But no, I just think that that's so important of focusing. All the small things add up to the big things. And if the small things are just within yourself in your little bubble, it's more important than people think it is.
Yeah.
Like it might feel minute of like, oh, but it's just little old me and me just doing this little thing isn't enough. Like I need to make a big impact. How can I make a big impact? People need to know. But then that's where you start losing sight of the things that are right here.
Yeah.
If you're like venturing out too far.
Yeah. Well, and that's honestly why I get so excited about like, again, learning and knowing energy and frequency, because that minute small thing, if you could see things on an energetic level, when you're doing it with integrity, when you're doing it with like a purpose of love and wanting to shift yourself, others, like it naturally, like when you are you come into a room and you influence it with your energy. But if you're like closed off and thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, whatever, you're being consumed by the energy instead of like, this is who I am, I'm going to influence. So even just like, if you're a good cook and you love to cook and you think you're not making a difference, you are, because you're putting love into that food, which is then going to other people, putting love into them, which then like continually ripples. So again, it's like, see yourself as the energy and the frequency of who you are, knowing that ripples, and then choose to use that ripple however you want.
Yeah.
Whether, like I said, whether it's like light language or like literally coding people with energy or like choosing to do a podcast. It's just, it's all the small, and that, again, why break it down to just energy? It's the smallest, most simple thing that can make the biggest difference.
Yeah, for real. I had a thought. Where did it go? Oh my gosh. No, it was a good one. Come back.
Come back. Come back.
I think it might be gone. It'll come back. You'll be mid-sentence and I'll be like, stop. No, I think that I'm not going to talk. I'm just not, because every time I try to, it's gone. So, okay, wait, but so you are doing coaching a little bit with like helping people find their gifts?
I don't talk very much. That's another thing. Like I have my own struggles, right? Like putting myself out there of what I do. But I do one-on-one mentorship. I have a few different things. I'm a manny-gen as well. Yeah. So I have like a million different things and I'm like, okay, hone it in, focus on this, but you can do this right now. So yeah.
But this is interesting.
Yeah.
No, I think that's what I love though is your posts. I will see your stories and you're like, here's the thing that I'm offering and I don't offer it very much, but I feel like I need to right now. And so I'm just I don't know how long it'll be there. It'll just be there as long as I feel like I need to, which is a huge lesson in following your intuition of whatever feels right at that time.
And doing it totally different than the coaching industry or business industry says. Because that's, within the last couple of years, I have been really honing in on following, like you said at the very beginning, where following the intuition for different things, but it's all the same thread, right? Yeah. So even with business or even with huge things, like trusting the energy that you're receiving and flowing through you to choose, because I tried to like share things and do things like, oh, pick something and build on it. But that's just not how my energy works. And so after like learning and trying different things, it's like follow the flow. And if it lights you up, because I'm an emotional authority, and so it's like run with it while it lights you up, but it's not going to last forever. Yeah. And I've had to learn to let a lot of things go. But then like 3 months down the road, it'll be like, offer that again. I was like, but hold on. I told them I was done. But it's like, who cares? Yeah. So yeah, it is. There'll be random times where I offer things that's like, yeah, I know I said that I was like completely done with it. Like I put my camera down 2 years ago. I was like, I'm done with photography. Yeah. I was done. But the lesson in that was let go of everything that I was trying to identify myself as. Yeah. And then I picked it back up again. And just creating this new identity around it of what it in a different way that it wanted to express itself. So yes, following. And that's why astrology and human design and gene keys and all that kind of stuff can help you figure out different pieces of who you are so that you can follow your intuition. You can develop your gifts in the ways that it wants to be rather than like what everybody tells you should be the right way. Yeah. So, yeah. And I feel like
I remember when I was first getting into astrology and all of those things, I had this internal battle of, okay, am I trusting somebody else to tell me who I am? Or am I, the other part of it too is, am I using this as an excuse of why I do something? And so I've tried to be very intentional about things like that of, this is interesting and it backs up something I already knew about myself.
Yes.
Of instead of it, because that's been a huge thing for me too, of somebody telling me, and not just from society, but like from religion and from generations before, of somebody telling me, this is the way we do things. This is what you should be doing. This is a respectable career. This is how people are going to like you, you know? And and leaning more into, I believe this about myself. I like this about myself. This is the direction I feel that I want to go. And, oh, hey, look, that backs it up for me. And not that I need that backup, but how cool is it that like, oh, that matches. That's cool.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's, with the human design and stuff, it's been really cool to practice that.
Yeah.
Because, and I've mentioned this so many times on this podcast, of a lot of my growth journey has been about taking my power back. And someone else made a comment of, and I loved this so much. Someone else made a comment of, it's not taking your power back. You always had that power.
Yeah.
It's just recognizing that it's still there.
Yeah.
And that you had it, and strengthening that power.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that's kind of been part of that as well, of like reclaiming.
Yeah.
Right. Remembering the power that I've always had.
Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up too, because yes, that is a huge piece where it's like, and I tend to, when I'm learning or deconstructing something, I tend to swing like completely the opposite way, but it's coming back in, because yes, all those things are beautiful tools to help you remember, but ultimately it literally does come down to trusting yourself. Yeah. Not outsourcing anything. Like, again, those can be beautiful things to help you remember certain things, but ultimately, yeah, don't like, oh, well, because I'm a 5'1", it means this, or because I'm at whatever, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's again why I start with like the base of everything I do is you have to learn energy first, because that is your source of truth, because it comes through you. So you have to feel it in your body. You have to feel intuition. It's all in your body. So that's the base. And then all these other things can be a beautiful support, but like don't ever go from the base. Right. Yeah. And I love that we do have those beautiful tools to help with that. What was it like when you were first not learning about your gifts, but like tuning into them? Yeah. And actually giving them the attention that they needed, and then started practicing them. What was it like because I know like for me anyways, there's that, when we talked about it a little bit, there's that fear of judgment. Yeah. So what has it been like for the people around you and your friends and your family, as far as you finally like embracing that? And so when I was first, so I did the foot zone therapy, I've always had a mentor. I've always had a mentor that was like my person that was like, no, you're spot on, keep going. Yeah. In the different aspects, like I haven't continuously had a mentor like my whole life, but in those moments of deepening certain things, I had a mentor. So foot zone therapy, she was like the one that helped me open up to understanding these are your spiritual gifts, or just gifts in general. Like we don't have to necessarily term, they're just spiritual because they're the unseen, right? Right. So then a few years later, I realized I'm like, okay, there's something to this whole, like you hear the word mediumship, right? And so at first I'm like, I'm not going to call myself a medium. But then I met somebody, I was playing basketball and I overheard her say, oh yeah, I help people learn how to talk to their angels and guides. And I was like, hold on, what did you just say? Like you teach people how to do that? So then I mentored with her to get very clear on how to do that, how to connect. So yeah, within that, especially connecting to angels and guides, because I was learning all of that as I was going through my divorce as well. Oh man. And I was straight up told I was crazy and that I thought I was talking to angels and guides. So I had both extremes at the same time of like, she was helping me, guiding me, telling me, yeah, that's spot on, where I have going through the divorce. She's crazy. She thinks guides are telling her to divorce me type of thing. Oh man. So, and not just, but multiple different people.
Yeah.
So in that moment, yeah, I had both of like, nope, this is real. But literally it always came down to, I would go out into my garage every single morning, connect, meditate, and just like channeled writing, just free automatic writing, right? Everything. And it was like the more and more that I felt it in myself, that's when I really developed that confidence. Cause yeah, I did have her telling me, no, that's spot on, which is great and cool because it did reaffirm what I was feeling. But I also had the complete opposite of like, she's crazy, she's following the devil.
Yeah.
But ultimately it really did come down to those moments of quiet peace where I was by myself, what I was feeling. And I knew too, cause I had trained with knowing how energy feels in my body. So I had a very like clear, grounded knowing for myself of how I received, what it felt like. And in those moments when I didn't have this or that, I could feel the truth of what it was.
Yeah.
So then from that, like doing enough, practicing with people that I knew supported me, gave me the confidence to then like a random person that I had never met before, sign up for a session. And then I tell them, you know, these things that come to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first it was a little like, again, my people pleaser would come in and like, is she going to think I'm crazy? Is she going to go to tell somebody that I said this and that, whatever.
Yeah.
But honestly, the more that I've practiced, I know so well how I receive. I know what's, there's so much to this, but I know what is coming in as what I meant to say. Like I'm very clear on what to say versus what not to share yet because of how things feel, how I share them. Because yeah, there's been times where I've been told that's not quite,
They're not ready for
not ready for it.
Yeah.
And I say ready loosely, but and not often does it happen because I'm very intentional with how I'm helping people. So my intention is like only beings of light, benevolent beings. And also I'm here to help them. So give me what it is that can help them with what their intention is as well. So then I see the whole picture of what their energy is doing based on that intention. Like I'm very clear on my intentions of what I'm doing. So most of the time I will receive exactly what it is. But every once in a while, there's these outliers where it's like, I'll pick up on something and it's like, oh, that's not time for that quite yet. Her body's not ready. Nervous system's not ready for whatever reason. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I've literally now gotten to the point where I've had people say stuff that I've said that like, oh, how dare she, whatever. And I'm like, I'm so clear on what feels good to share and what doesn't. Yeah. And again, that's like one of my core values isn't being in integrity with energy and like the truth of it and the pureness of it.
Yeah.
Cause I have no freaking ego. Like I said, yes, I have an ego when it comes to like sharing what I meant to in the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm going to tell it just how it is.
Yes.
And that's how it is. But yeah, I've had times where there's people, that will say stuff and it's like, again, I've just practiced so well. I'm so clear in how things feel within me and not saying that I'm like perfect by any means.
Yeah.
Again, let's make this clear. I do have an ego. But for reals, when I'm like in a session, I'm there for the person. This is not about me and what I can tell them or like what I can open up for them.
Or how to impress them or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where I say the ego, I'm like, we're going to leave that at the door. I'm here for you, to serve you, to help you.
Yeah.
So it is just a practice.
And I love the part that you brought in about the integrity too, because it's not just integrity with other people or how people treat each other. It's also that integrity with yourself of how you've built that trust and I don't know what the word is, standard, I guess, of yourself of like, no, this is the way that I do this. Yeah. And I feel confident and I feel good about the way that I'm doing it. And that's what matters.
Yeah. And I do. Like and it's taken me, like even me saying this right now, I'm like, is it okay for me to say that? Really confident in what I pick. Yes. I'm very, very good at reading energy, like very clear. And I get a lot of pushback in that space, but that is one thing that I know in my soul, I'm meant to bring the clarity and integrity of energy. Because there's a lot of bullshit and there's a lot of manipulation and there's a lot of the things that get me going. It's like, no, focus on what you can do, bringing the pureness, bringing the integrity. Anywho, so yeah, just with my journey, I've always had a mentor when I'm deepening that gift because it does give me the yes. And you do get the pushback when you're rising. There's always both, right? The balance of both. But again, you have to have those moments of tuning into yourself and knowing how it feels inside of you and how you receive. Because even having both, you have to be strong here first and foremost to even go even further.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that kind of leads into my next question, or answers a little bit of it too, as far as like, if somebody is like, what advice would you have for somebody who is going through something similar, or what's something that you've learned for people who might be venturing out into that?
Yeah. That kind of is the same thing as like, first and foremost, if somebody wants to like choose into deepening like their knowledge of their spiritual gifts and whatnot, first and foremost, get very clear on your yes, your no. How does your body respond to a yes in energy? How does your body respond to a no? Because then that will ground you. Because again, when I first started, I was like, oh, I'm here in my upper chakras and it's all beautiful. No. Like, you've got to get grounded. And I think that's where some people get a little lost.
Yeah.
Is they're so up here and they're like, oh, I'm Jesus. But I'm like, okay, cool. And what are you doing here on earth?
Yeah. Why are you here? Let's do this.
So it's like, bring it down into your body, get very clear on how your body feels, and start, like you said this at the very beginning, start with the simple things. Like when I was learning intuition and energy at its core level, I still do this just to get in the practice, right? I will go to the grocery store or just anywhere, and I will choose 2 juices of the exact same, like not 2 different flavors, same flavor. And I'll typically go for the more healthy ones just because of our program beliefs about food. Yeah. So I go for the healthy ones anyways, just so my mind doesn't get in the way. And then I'll touch them and I'll be like, okay, I'll drop into my body, ground into my body and say, which one does my body want right now? And then I'll touch both of them, see how my body responds. Again, I'm very clear on how my body says yes. And so I'll just do that and be like, yep, nope. Okay. You can also do this with your name. Like if you're tuning into how your body feels, say, okay, my name's Janica. Personally, for me, my like energy rises from my core up and like out, wanting to be like a yeah. And if I were to sit here and say, oh, my name's Amber, it's like a heavy, it just sits. Yeah. So that's how I know my energy is a yes or a no for something, because
what that feels like.
Yeah. So it's like, you got to learn what that is for you and then just go out and practice. Like even in the grocery store, still when I'm buying things, I will just energetically touch it. I've gotten to the point where I can just look at it and know, but still just so I can stay grounded in my body, I will just touch it and be like, okay, which one feels like a yes? Oh, that one. Yeah. And that's literally the core for everything.
Just the small exercises. Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool.
Because then when you get to the bigger stuff, that's like, oh, am I talking to this guy? Your body will tell you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that, how it always starts out with the small things of like trusting yourself with the small things. That's what we were talking about earlier. Is like, it's the small things that build up to the big things. Oh, I love that so much. And then also everybody needs to book a Confidently Bear session. It's so beautiful. I can't tell you like how much it's helped me.
Thanks. Yeah. They literally are like my most favorite thing in the world.
Oh, it's really cool. And I mean, we talked about like you being behind the camera, but when we did it, it was a group of girls, and being like, even I could see the girls when they first started, and then as they progressed, and by the time they came back, like every single one of us, by the time we finished our sessions, were so fired up. I'm like, that was so cool.
I know.
It was awesome. Well, thank you, Janica. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
It was good. I loved it. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode. If you liked what you heard, please remember to subscribe and go leave a review on Apple Podcast. It helps me know what you want to hear and who I should have as a guest next. Thanks again, and until next time, keep living the life of a lotus.